Good morning, everyone. Today is April 30th, 2020. It's 57, feels like 51 and a little windy here in North Idaho. I'm Jody and welcome to Moose Flats Farm. Okay, a walk through the empty shelves. Honestly questioning, do I start more? Because show you the greenhouse and it's stacked and packed. 90% of that should have been already sold. But if I want to make it, I gotta grow it. Just got the text from David John whether I should start more or not, but let me go show you what I think I need to get going on. So this is what my kitchen table looks like at the moment. Let's see what... Gotta love my husband. His answer was, start more. So, you may see on the tablet, I'm watching Jess from Roots and Refuge. I got my Rise and Shine t-shirt. It was a special t-shirt they offered to help support her brother, who is a tattoo artist, who can't work right now, so he's now doing this. I feel really awesome about getting this. Can't wait to wear it tomorrow. So, will be more broccolis, the Mortgage Lifter, the Brad's Atomic Grape. My first go around was not impressed. Those tomato plants are kind of sickly, but have to figure out a better way to do this because I just wound up feeding the celery to the Muscovies. I'm gonna try rosemary again. All else fails, I will get one plant for David John, who wants a rosemary plant. First time I tried, none of them germinated. But gonna do more of the purple basil, and I'm gonna start some dill this time. So yeah, I thought the humidity in the house was going to go down. I'm just going to build it back up. So day 3 will have us out in the garden and in the house. Grow big or grow home. All else fails, we'll have a really huge garden and you can come and buy stuff from our garden. Because in all honesty, when it comes to the basil, for trimming and taking care of the plants that I have, I already have a gallon bag of it in the freezer and those plants haven't even reached maturity yet. I'm just trying to keep them at a size that they're manageable for sale. Which it looks like it's going to be another 2 weeks. And tomorrow I'll take you out and show you the greenhouse. I spent 3 hours out there today because 90% of what was out in the greenhouse should have already been sold. But because of this, I can't. So I'm doing what I can to but unfortunately the tomatoes are getting kind of leggy, which is fine because when you plant your tomatoes you should plant them deep. So a leggy tomato really isn't a big deal because you just dig the hole deeper, plant it deeper, and it just grows that much stronger. But then you come looking at it in a 4-inch pot and it's this 10-inch plant and it's kind of wobbly. So I did go and stake the ones that looked like they needed it. And I will tell my customers when they purchase them or they question that just make sure you plant them deep. They'll grow the roots. It's good tops. So hopefully sooner than later I can start selling and emptying out the greenhouse so I can add this stuff to it. Back with you in a little bit. Well, I went through and sorted out all the brassicas, and those are the ones that will turn into compost. But just set them in the beds to have them sorted out so I can go shopping. So, a couple of the rules for our family is never stop improving, never stop learning, and don't give up. Hence the reason we spent $60 on steer manure to help improve the soil. And then I got my FedEx package, which is really cool. Spent $40-ish. And even though in animals, a worm load you don't want, in the garden you want. And when I was digging this up the other day, getting the weeds out, lots and lots of worms. But I ordered, open, another 200 worms to add. So very cool. So we'll get this all worked in, get these guys in a shady spot, get this worked in, and then I'll add earthworms. Cute little guys. Definitely won't let the chickens in here now. So right there, David John's working on getting that area tilled up, because that's where we're going to be moving the raspberries. I've got where the stakes are basically where my rows are going to be. So I just need to get a string to run across from the fence to here so I can make my hills. Draining the koi pond down, and Valkyrie has found her spot. Who needs a dog to dig holes when you have a goose? Silly girl. So there I've got my 8 mounded rows. And you may be going, why the mounds? Well, looks neater, looks cleaner. Don't know everything, it's just the way that we do it. Get the soaker hoses put on them, and then I can get some of these brassicas into the garden. Looks really cool. So let's check out these wigglers. I'm gonna basically just do if I can get into them, a handful in each bed. Whoa, don't throw them on the floor. See if I can get you guys in there where you can see them. So there I've got a handful of worms. Gonna put a little cover over them. You can water this bed tomorrow. But I'm gonna go through and do a handful in each of the beds and add to the biodiversity of the beds. I'm not sure how well the camera picks it up, but that right there, the oscillating sprinkler, is a very rare thing to see in our garden. Especially when it comes to, as I get rained on, especially when it comes to squashes, we've found that besides the fact that we need to add the bone meal to help prevent blossom end rot, doing the overhead sprinkler, it fills the blossoms with water and it washes the pollination off, so you only get a partial germination, so then you wind up with blossom end rot. So right now I'm just doing the oscillator on the in-ground garden area just to get that soaked down and kind of settled so I can get the soaker hoses on and get my cabbage and broccoli planted tomorrow. But right now I'm going to turn this off and go plant my peas and my other cool stuff that I can get straight into the ground right now. So I did go through and pre-soak my peas so they're a little faster to germinate, but I'm going to do 4 half trellis with the peas. I've got the sugar snaps and then a purple tendril. So I'm going to go through, get those, and then get my seed tapes out. So over here behind these peas, I'm going to do some lettuce and spinach. Before the rain starts to fall, let's go through and I'll show you what I got planted and then show you a couple other things we've got done. Sorry for the wind, but over here I got snap peas and carrots. Snap peas and just radishes planted there, radish and carrots. Carrots planted here with the tendril peas, and I'm hoping tomorrow to get out and get some of this broccoli and stuff planted, but have more carrots and carrots and radishes in the middle, peas along that trellis, peas on this trellis. And then over here, I did Chinese cabbage and more carrots. Looks like I'm gonna have to add a little more dirt over the tops right there. That's easy enough to do. Just felt the first couple raindrops, so made a couple of the Muscovy hens mad last night. We moved the big rhubarb that was in their pen over to here by the chair door. Show you that in a second. And I moved one of the whiskey barrels and I've planted the jasmine vine in it. Probably will later put some petunias in once they're big enough to come out. And I added little black fences around them just to keep the chickens and the Muscovies from eating them, but let me show you what it looks like. So we've got the jasmine vine that also has a million bell still growing that's like 2 years old. So will be interesting to see. And then there's the, trip over the turkey. And there's the rhubarb bed. And in that little pot right there is a Colorado blue spruce that was growing in with the jasmine vine. Hold it out and see if it's going to live. But I think when that rhubarb takes off and fills that whole corner, it'll look really nice. Hide some of the junk weeds back there. But they're my culprits. Yeah, I'm talking about you. And in case you were wondering when I showed you the delphinium bed and the annual bed box right here at the house, how's the plant's going to grow up through it, show you on the delphinium bed because it's starting to explode out of the surface. So as you see, it's coming up right there, and I just cut a hole for about the size that they are right now, and then if need to I can make it bigger. But when I go to plant my petunias in here, I'll just cut my square and plop the petunias right in. And the same thing will happen to the astilbe bed once it starts growing. Well, as a perspective, as you see, the rhubarb is really taken off. The jasmine vine is starting to take off. Babied that thing for 2 years, and then I ignored it, and look at it go. But gonna give you the perspective of the greenhouse from basically my point of view. And these really tall guys here are the black creme tomatoes that I started from seeds this January. Have to come out and do some cleanup on them. But I did the other day by, and this is Honoi strawberry. Have to get the fruit picked off, but I've got a planter coming that I'm going to plant my strawberries in. And this one is going to be a June bearing strawberry. And then I got the Quinault, which is an ever bearing strawberry, just so I have a little variety. On the back side here, I've got the second planting of summer squashes, and then all of these tomatoes. A couple of them I probably are gonna have to come through and stake up, but I think they look pretty good. It's almost warm enough to get the ivy hanging out down at the house. More tomatoes over here, tomatoes and peppers. My cilantro is doing awesome. This is down here on the bottom is my first batch of summer and winter squashes. The way the weather's going, it's almost, can get those out. But my rosemary looks lovely. Oregano, that one's kind of puny, but some of them are getting there. Up here, got an eggplant, tomatoes, and peppers. Right here, I have my Mexican sour gherkins that I brought out. Peppers. Nice big guys. More peppers, Mexican sour gherkin, peppers in the back, tomatoes down here, a couple eggplants thrown in, and I can't remember which herb this is, but peppers and a couple summer squashes in the back there. Whoops. Oh no, your buckbrush. Some eggplants, peppers, and some of the tomatoes I tied up. They look a little puny, but since you're going to plant this guy that deep in the ground, he'll do fine. Because as you see on this one right here, all these little nubbies are roots that want to grow. But this side of the table is, this table is basically just full of tomatoes. Crazy amounts. I'm gonna have to get out here and stake this guy up. But I can also take this one. Don't connect. Let go. And if I wanted, plant him in the garden like that. And all of this long area here is going to put roots on. And then I have my upward growth. So, could be one that's picked for in my garden. Because it's like, these guys right here, I believe are the black cherry tomato, which I know I'm going to be doing at least one trellis of them. And that's probably what I'll wind up doing, is planting them in the trellis like that. So they get buried nice and deep, because my trellises aren't deep. This way I can get deep growth without really having to dig a deep hole. And my immortal herb, this is another one that I bought 3-4 years ago, and it just did nothing. Brought it out and ignored it, and this thing is just taken off. So I now know that it likes to have a cold period. Doesn't like always being in the heat. Snake this guy up before he attaches to my tomatoes. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you all have a good day and a good week. And I will see you on Sunday's video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Stay safe. Bye for now.